iconic villainy and important questions.
On this episode of Simply Necessary Conversations.
So everyone has been talking about this new Tyler Perry movie that's on Amazon Prime. You have not watched it. I watched it last night. It's called Divorce in the Black, I think, or Divorce in Black.
I think it's Divorce in Black.
Something like that. It's on Amazon Prime if y'all want to check it out. Just FYI, it got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I've never seen before, and like a 4 stars on IMDb, and it got bad ratings.
So 4 out of how many stars? Like you said,
4 out of 10 stars. It got terrible ratings. I no shade to Tyler, because my dream is to tour his studio, maybe him give me a job one day, but it was a terrible movie.
It's not getting
it was a terrible movie. But everyone was talking about how Corey Hardrick, who he's recently been in headlines over the last couple of years because he divorced Tia Mowry, who was
she divorced him,
or she divorced, I forget. But she was a star of Sister Sister, which is everyone grew up watching her and her sister Tamara. But they got a divorce, and now everyone's saying because of the movie, they see why she got a divorce, which obviously he was playing a role. And according to what I've heard, like, he didn't like being mean to Megan Good, who was like, his wife in the movie. But they kind of brought to mind like characters and actors who may have played their villain role a little bit too well, that now people just equate them with that being role. Evil, even though, it's just a movie. It's just TV. It's not real.
Yeah. It happens. Like, sometimes you can't unsee somebody in a role. I know that there's been characters that I've seen play a role, and it's like, you're not acting. That's just who you are. Because there's some people that keep playing
the same role. It's called typecasting.
And unfortunately for Corey, there's a little snippet that keeps going around of an interview that he was doing with his wife.
Oh, yeah,
prior to the divorce, where you could kind of see some elements of evil in him. Like, he's talking and she interrupts, not in a rude way, but just like, to add to the conversation, and the little nasty
people
look
have been saying that he is one of the men, because how certain people have a look to them. Mm-hmm. People are saying he's one of the men that have crazy eyes, that like looks like he might be up to no good.
I don't know about that, but that little clip, what I think, not so much, it was a combination of things. The way that he reacted to her cutting him off, and then her reaction to his reaction. Because she immediately looked like, and I'm not saying this man ever did this, so please do not misquote me.
We don't know these people.
But the way she looked, it was almost like a battered wife who knew that she had done something wrong and was going to pay for it later. Or it was almost like,
he does this ish all the time, let me just shut up.
Yeah, like she almost looked in that moment like she knew later on she was going to pay for it. And I don't know him, and I don't want to badmouth anybody or say things about somebody that are not that is not true, but he fits into that. He falls into that category of men who married women who were a little bit more famous or a little bit more well known or well liked than them, and resented her for it. Like, that's kind of what everybody's.
I feel like him playing that character may not have been a smart move, just considering the fact that he did go through a divorce, and considering the fact that like the internet is kind of on Tia's side with everything.
Yeah.
And people already were kind of getting bad vibes from him in his personal life. Because as somebody that watched the movie, he played the role well in terms of being the a-hole abusive husband. Like, it was the casting fit well. Yeah,
well, in his defense, though, now you cannot, especially if you're an actor or anybody, live your life based on what people think. No. Because people think all kinds of stuff about people all the time. People think things about me that are not true. People think things about you probably that are not true. So he can't, like, turn down a role, especially if he knows he can do the role and do it well, which apparently he did. Can't turn down a role because of what people are going to think. But at the same time, as viewers, we can speculate and we can look at it and we can think what we're going to think.
But I feel like he's not the only person that played his role a little too well. I made a list of like things that immediately came to mind when I was thinking about this topic for the podcast. And right along with Corey Hardrick playing the role in, Divorce in the Black or Divorce in Black, whatever it's called, Steve Harris in Diary of a Mad Black Woman, also a Tyler Perry movie, played his role way too well.
Well, Tyler likes to have that villain so that he can have a damsel in distress and have somebody come rescue them. So like that's a trope that he kind of does a lot. Steve Harris, I didn't even know what his name was, but I've seen the meme.
Yeah, the meme
in it.
Would you like something to eat?
he just has that look. I hate it for him, but he just has look.
He was so despicable in the movie, and I feel
which is good acting.
Yeah,
maybe.
But I feel like I've seen him in other roles where he kind of had the same energy and the same vibe. So I'm just like, because like I've always dreamt one day if I became an actress that I would play like a villain character, just because it's different than my actual personality, and like you can explore like that darker side of your personality and darker side of yourself. But I would not want to be typecasted as that. The villain every single time I'm in a show or in a movie. I want to kind of branch out and do something a little bit different.
Yeah, well, people will pigeonhole you. People can see you, like if somebody sees you for the first time in a bad moment, to them, that's who you are. Yeah. Like they say, you never have a second chance to make a first impression. So sometimes it happens. I know that there are people out there that saw me in a particular situation and like, ooh, there's that girl. Yeah. There's that girl that told those people off. Or there's that girl that cussed that person out. I did it, but I did it in the moment. And chances are you didn't see what provoked me. So you have to kind of give everybody grace and see them in more than one situation, and maybe you can.
But off of the Tyler Perry productions, two other characters that are infamously known for being like evil, and I feel like you just automatically are going to equate them with that villain mindset. Voldemort.
Yeah.
And you can I feel like even though I don't even know if I've recognized the actor in anything else, I feel like if I heard that voice, I'm immediately going to be like, ooh.
Well, but there's a difference though with that, because Voldemort is a fictional character. So, and I mean, all of these characters are fictional because they're acting, but he's kind of like I don't say cartoon, but like he's a fantasy character villain versus still, being a regular person.
But even with that being said, you have to think about things like the Joker. A lot of actors that have played the Joker have ended up, unaliving themselves because the character was so evil and so they get immersed.
They get kind of caught up and can't come out of that, which I would never want to be. I wouldn't want to be that good of an actor that I can't bring myself back to reality. Or even,
this is outside of villain, but this is more so like bad character, not necessarily villain, not necessarily hero, is a lot of people were saying that when Zendaya was in Euphoria, they started believing she really was like a crackhead.
Yeah, well, that's good acting.
I think she's just a good actor because in Challengers, she also played kind of like a bad character that had bad morals and values. And you really believed
but then
it.
Think about it. That's one thing. But on the flip side, there's characters that played the goody and turned out to be completely evil. I'm not going to say Bill Cosby's name, but sometimes there's characters that everybody thinks are
so wholesome and so
wholesome and sweet and beloved. And then when you talk to the people behind the scenes, something that is kind of beyond you, but not because you're my child. Little House on the Prairie, Nellie Olson was the wickedest bad word.
I feel like 90% of people are not going to have any clue.
People from my generation will know. They say that Nellie Olson was completely, the actress that played Nellie Olson was a completely different person. And Melissa Sue Anderson, they said she was more actually her character because because you watched Little House on the Prairie on, video because I introduced you to it. But Laura was the everybody's pal girl, tomboy, whatever. Nellie Olson was the villain, and then Melissa Sue Anderson, who played, was it Mary? Her sister, her older sister? I think it's Mary. Anyway, they said that she in real life was kind of that girl that was always the goody, you shouldn't do that, whatever and stuff. But Nellie was very much not who. And also the woman that played her mother in the show, who was equally evil. They said that they were the nicest people. So sometimes it's the opposite, where somebody seems to be a bad guy, but in real life they're really nice.
My last addition to this conversation, another character that I can't stand, whoever plays this character, I automatically hate them and whatever, is Mr. from The Color Purple.
Oh.
Automatically, I'm on 10. I don't like you. Until you do right by me, everything you do gonna crumble. I hate that character so much. And when I read the book, I hated him. When I watched the movie adaptations, could not stand him.
Yeah, but I will say, the guy that played him in the reboot, the most recent one, the one with Fantasia, I did not dislike him as much as I did Danny Glover in the first one. I think they toned everything that was bad down in the remake.
They didn't show a lot of the bad
They
parts
didn't show the
because it was a
abusiveness.
musical. So I feel like in order to not make it seem like, oh, y'all are singing about somebody getting, assaulted or whatever. I think in order to tone it down, they kind of took out some of the bad parts. And they also, I feel like, humanized his character a little bit more with him coming back and buying her clothes and wanting to be her friend in the end.
They did. I mean, it was that way in the first the original
it
version.
was the same way.
But I didn't like this. I didn't dislike this Mister as much as I disliked the original Mister, and I guess it was because it was a musical. It was not like they took out a lot of the dark and
and I feel like
parts.
It didn't. I mean, it still seemed like Celie as a character went through a lot, but it just didn't seem as harsh as when I read it and watched it the first time. Because I don't know, maybe I guess they toned it down.
They did. They toned it down
modern.
a lot. It was not as dark. Like the book that Alice Walker wrote. She, the description, especially if somebody, as people that are creative, and I'm a creative writer, so like she did her job to make you see and feel these characters. In the movie, it takes away the sting a little bit because you're not getting all of that detail, and then in the musical, it took away even more. So anyway, but yeah, Mr.
And I think
Mr.
too, in an odd way, I think because Fantasia is so talented, it was almost like she sold the character, but it was almost like she's so talented that it's just like you're listening to her voice. You're not even thinking about the trauma that is being displayed in the show.
I love Fantasia. I want the best for her. I love Fantasia. I think she's
she's a person that can play any character, and I'll probably like that character and not hate her.
I can't not like her.
But let me put y'all on is relevant to our personal lives because we just did it, and I realized a lot of people probably don't know that it's an option. A lot of Floridians and people that just are always traveling, always like theme parks or whatever. You can upgrade a day pass to Disney into an annual pass, which I feel like a lot of people don't realize it. And it's so much more convenient because I know when I was going when I was gonna say when we were kids. You were not a kid.
Not when you were a kid.
But when I was a kid, when we were going, like sometimes, you get a day pass and then you upgrade it into an annual pass or whatever. And it was almost kind of like this known secret that, you go up to guest relations and do it. Now you can do it in the app. I just did it yesterday on my way to Disney, and you just click a button and it'll be like, so we're applying however much it was. And
for the elderly like me, because sometimes people, you say stuff and you assume they know what you're talking about. So what she's saying is if you buy a one-day ticket or a multi-day ticket, and you go and you realize once you get there, I want to come back. Like I really would like to come back. And you decide you want to upgrade to a pass, whether it be a seasonal pass, an annual pass.
There is no such thing as seasonal pass at Disney. It's only annual pass.
Whatever. There's different levels of passes though.
There's
a day pass, a weekday pass.
Those are all annual passes.
Anyway, well, if you have a single day ticket or just a multi-day ticket that only allows you a couple days, and you decide you want to get one of the passes that allows you to come back more routinely, then you can go to guest services and apply the money that you spent on the first ticket that you have towards the price of the rest of the ticket. So like they will credit you whatever you pay for that ticket, and then you can pay the difference between that and a ticket that would allow you to
and now with the app
more.
It took like a minute.
Yeah. And if you wonder, like, for those of you that don't think about it, what you pay for a one-day pass or maybe 3, 4, or 5 day pass, however they're doing it at the time, it might seem like, okay, I'm paying less. But if you have to pay for parking, which you will with those, if you have to pay for parking every time you go, which right now is about $30+, then if you do the math on a 4-day ticket, another $120. Am I right? Yeah. Another because I don't do math. Another $120 is what you're going to spend. So like if the next level or the lowest level of pass where you can come back multiple times is not that much
you
difference.
Just have to check, like if you're the type of person that has specific days off, you got to check and make sure
that you can get a pass that you can actually get your money out of.
There's like blackout days where you can't go during like certain seasonal times of the year. But overall, it
kind of works out because like if you have the ability to get like a weekday pass and you can go on Fridays and you're going to go back a couple more Fridays, rather than to pay $30 for parking and really get nothing but parking that day, you might be better off to just go ahead and upgrade.
Or for instance, like I got you a ticket as a gift, and then you have the option to upgrade it. Even when, like I got it for your birthday, and then you were like, oh, you should keep going. And then
like if somebody gets you halfway there to a pass, you might be like, okay, let me go and pay the difference, and then I can go back multiple times. So That's something that a lot of people don't know, but you have to do it before the last use of whatever ticket you have.
Yeah.
So like if you got a 1-day ticket, you got to do it that day.
Yeah.
If you got a 4-day ticket where you're going to go back like 4 different times to visit each park or something like that, before you use that ticket for the last time, you have to do the upgrade then.
Yeah, and then you get like, your little discounts on all the merch or whatever. Yeah. Like I know I probably want to buy Tiana ears because of the new ride. So
and you can get discounts, I think, when you buy tickets for other people and all that. There's some perks to it.
I don't know about that.
I think so. It used to be.
That's a Busch Gardens thing. I don't know if that's
used to be. I don't know. Like I think annual, y'all check because we're not sure. I'm not sure about that, but yeah. Anyway.
But speaking of travel, what had happened was I saw this on Instagram and I was just like, oh, this is a wonderful conversation because I feel like, our viewers are known to be vocal and they'll be vocal about this.
Yes, ma'am. They got opinions.
So I'm going to read the post and then we'll discuss. So it says, okay, so I need y'all's opinion. I was on this girls trip with like 5 other girls in Miami. We get to the Airbnb and I say, hey, I'm going to jump in the shower real quick. And I mean real quick because we've been traveling all day. I get out and everybody's gone without saying a word. Am I wrong for catching a flight back home? Because apparently I'm overreacting. So was she being a little dramatic for, getting mad at all her friends for leaving her when she was in the shower? Or should she have just got on the flight back home because trip now over?
Okay, so I'm going to approach this from 2 different angles because, as always, we only have one side of the story. Yes. We do not know anybody's side of the story except hers. So first approach, I'm going to base it on just what she shared. And I'm going to assume that there had been no other beef, no other issue. She went in the shower. She came back. All of them were gone. Mm-hmm. If that's what happened and she had not done anything, she hadn't been shady, she hadn't, did anything to trigger them, no, she was not wrong. Because if I go in the shower and come back and y'all are gone and nobody bothered to text me, leave a note, knock on the door and say, hey, we're running to the store, like nothing, y'all just left, didn't say a word, I might not have left immediately. I might have even given them a chance to come back, to the room and see. We don't even know that. Did they come back?
I don't think she left as soon as. Yeah, I think she probably just left.
So there's a whole lot of gray area, but I would have left because that says to me on the rest of this trip, y'all are gonna be doing some crazy stuff that might make me act crazy.
I think it depends on where did they go.
Yeah,
because I think it depends on where they go. Because
did they leave the hotel?
No, not even just that. Did y'all go to Walmart to get water? Like I don't care
where they went. If they know I'm in the shower and I don't know where they went, and I'm gonna come out wondering where they are. If they just went to go on a run that they knew I didn't want to be a part of, like. But what stopped them from knocking on the door and telling her that?
What if they were gonna come right back and they knew she was gonna be in the shower for a while?
But how does she know that? How does she know that? No, if they didn't. How long? No. We're in a Airbnb somewhere where none of us live. I'm going to walk out to find that I'm there alone and I don't know why.
I just feel like it's like, I'm sure if she's on a trip with these people, like everybody I've gone on a trip with, I have their location. I'm just look at the location. Oh, they're at Walmart. Okay,
I don't care. Think about it. We're at home in the house. And if for safety reasons only, if I'm going outside, if I know that I'm in the house, and I'm going outside and I'm going to be outside for an extended period of time where you may come to say something to me and I'm not in the house, I say, hey, I'm going to the mailbox, or hey, I'm going outside, or hey, I'm getting ready to go.
I'm not saying that.
There is no circumstance where there's not time for you to tell somebody
that what they did wasn't a little bit shady or like a little bit like, shady's not even the word. Maybe a little bit thoughtless or like, not even selfish, just like they probably just had to go do something and went. But
wait, you said she was on the trip with 5 other people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of 5 people, none of y'all on the way out the door couldn't knock on my door and say, hey, we're running to the store.
It depends on where they're going. Because I feel like if you're just going a minute away
to get ice or going downstairs
you don't need to knock on the door and tell me you want to get ice.
You need to tell me something if I'm going to walk out to an empty space.
I feel like they could have texted him and like, hey, I don't think they had to necessarily wait on her because like
they
didn't
have to wait. They didn't have to wait, but they could have told her.
They could have sent her a text and been like, hey, we're going, blah, blah. But I think it depends on, did they go out to the club? Did they go out to a restaurant?
The going all the way back home, that depends on where they went. I say That part depends on where they went.
And I'm saying she could be in her fields and be like, y'all could have told me where y'all went. But at the end of the day, I feel like it depends on where they went.
It depends on where they went and how long they were gone. If they thought we'll be back before she gets out of the shower.
That's what I'm saying.
That's one thing. I'm operating from the perspective that when she got out of the shower, they were gone for a long enough time for her to be like, where are y'all? Because if they left thinking that they were going to be back by the time she got out of the shower, that would mean that they were back within a few minutes. Based on how I read
the post, I feel like her saying that like it was going to be a very quick shower was her being like, oh, like they should have just waited on me because I was in the shower.
And see, this is a very good thing because see, you have to like explain your thought processes. Because my thought process is that she came out of the shower. They were not there, and they were not there long enough for it to warrant. They should have told her they were leaving. You're interpreting it from a different perspective.
Irritation was that I said I was going to take a quick shower. Why didn't y'all just wait on me?
See, we're interpreting it differently.
Because I feel like the emphasis on it was going to be a quick shower was like, I'm not going to be in there forever. Y'all could have just waited on me. Versus if she was like, I was in the shower and then I came out and they were gone for hours.
That's all the gray area. Because see, now you're approaching it kind of from the other approach that I was going to take to my response. Now, is she the girl that they said, hey, we're going to put our stuff down and we're going to run to the store before we take showers, or we're going to put our stuff down and then we're going to go, get the rest of the stuff out of the car before anybody gets in the shower? And she insisted on, no, so like all of that is gray area because like did they make it clear to her you don't have time to take a shower because we need to do something else, and she took the shower anyway?
Or were they under the impression that once she showered she wasn't going to go back out? If it's nighttime and I'm going to take a shower, I'm not going anywhere else. I'm in for the night.
I'm like that at home, but if I'm at a hotel where I don't pay for the water, I'll take that shower, and then if I want to walk down the hall and go sit down by the pool, I'll come back and take another one.
Once
I'm not
I
paying
take
for water. I don't care.
Once I take a shower and I have my pajamas on, I'm in for the night. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. So maybe they felt like
her what she wrote gave the impression that she wanted them to wait on her. So it's not given she was taking a shower.
But maybe in their minds they were like, oh, she's in the shower. She's gonna go take a nap or go to sleep or whatever. Yeah. So let's just go.
Yeah, this is a perfect example of everybody may have been thinking something different. And if they were real friends, a conversation should have been had.
I could very well see someone assuming that one person, like, what if she was on a vacation with 5 girls? One of them is her best friend, the rest of them aren't. What if the best friend forgot to tell her? The rest of the girls assumed, her best friend might tell her, and then they all left.
We're doing a whole lot of conjecture.
There are reasons why she may have stayed and talked it out versus getting on a flight back home.
We're doing a whole lot of conjecture. Young lady, if you happen to catch this podcast, if you are anywhere, you have it, let us know what really happened. Like, we would like to know all the sides of the story.
Actually
because story. Like they say, when it comes to stuff like that, it's her side, their side, and then reality, like the truth. So there's a whole lot. But I will say, if I made it clear to them, I'm going to take a quick shower, and I wasn't acting a fool, and I wasn't doing something that they had told me in advance, don't do that or whatever. If she took a shower, came back and they were gone and there's no extenuating circumstances, I absolutely would have booked my flight back home. And I feel like it depends on
where it was. Because there's certain places that my friends know I am not going to want to go there.
Yeah. And but your friends would have never. And you can't tell me they would have. They would have never left that room, even to go get ice or anything, without saying, "Hey, Imari, we're going blah blah blah." They would not have.
Well, that's because most of the time I'm only going to be on vacation with 2 people, and like, they're going to.
But I just think, out of common decency, like nobody would leave somebody in a room or Airbnb alone without saying, hey, we're leaving. I just feel like knowing that they're not going to know what happened when they come out. This might
also be a case of how people are raised, because I know there's some like, for instance, because I grew up alone and it was only a maximum of 3 people in the house at any given time. We would tell each other where we were going. I mean, I wasn't really old enough to go anywhere for a while, obviously, but we would tell each other where we were going. Or like now, because it's just me and you, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to my boyfriend's house. Hey, I'm going to grandma's house, whatever. Yeah. I'm going to let you know just because like we're the only people in the house. But I've noticed that people that are in bigger families don't do that. They don't. Like, there will be times where I'm at my boyfriend's house, everybody just leave.
Well, right now we have to fuss at your grandma because she'll like, be gone and your granddaddy didn't know like where she
some
is.
People just don't. That's
and
not.
It's like you gotta tell him when you're leaving.
And that's not necessarily how people like it. It depends on your dynamic.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say as a mom and an older person, just for safety's sake alone. This communication is important. This is how those kids get left in hot cars and stuff like that, because they're not communicating and saying, hey, the baby's in the car waiting on you, or hey, I'm going to leave the baby in the car because you're supposed to be getting in the car. This is how that kind of stuff happens. And that is why when you were little, I had an understanding with your other parent that at no point in time would we send you or tell you to go to the other parent without us acknowledging that we got you. Like when you would go from room to room, it was, hey, Imari's coming in there. Do you see her? Or, hey, Imari wants to come outside. Do you see her outside? Like we never took that chance because I had heard too many horror stories. And I'm like that now. If your child is in my care, they are not going to be out of my sight. My
cousins. I don't like when they go and disappear. They are not going to be out of my sight
unless there's somebody I can hand them off to, and I make them give me confirmation. Hey, so-and-so said they want to come outside. Are you going to watch them? I don't play them games. I do not play them games.
I feel like I'm an over communicator because I'm an overthinker. Because if you don't tell me where you are, then I'm going to be like, oh my God, they died on the highway. And I didn't get to say goodbye.
Every time you call me and I don't answer the phone.
Maybe I have anxiety, but every time I call somebody and I know they're like on the road or they're supposed to be somewhere and they're not answering, my immediate first thought is they died.
I don't know why you do that. I don't know why you do that. But if I know that they should be in, I'm not going to assume that they died. But like if too much time goes by, I'm going to start calling everybody and I'm going to start looking for them.
I've calmed down a little bit and I think logically, okay, what time of day? What did they say they were doing?
Traffic.
Like, traffic, all of that. Yeah. You disappear a lot though.
Excuse me, ma'am?
You disappear. If you think
somebody knows where I am all the time.
If you think I'm occupied, if I'm somewhere else, you will disappear.
If you're away from home and you're off
and that
somewhere,
means that when I call, you answer the phone first ring.
But I can't always answer the phone the first ring. Sometimes my phone is not accessible. You and Grandma both
have a problem of you. I always see y'all on the phone. Y'all never answer the phone. It's amazing to me because how do y'all not understand that you need to be reachable? Like
I am reachable. I just may not be reachable at that moment. And 9 chances out of 10. If you're looking for me and can't find me, my mama knows where I am because I've called her.
Yes, and I will call her and I'll be like, do you know where your daughter is? Because she's not answering my phone calls.
Because I don't play.
Sometimes it'll worry her because she'll be like, well, she said she was going home, so I don't know why she's not answering the phone. And then she'll be like, oh, well, if you don't hear from her, then let me. And I'm just
and you can best believe she going to circle back and be like, did you find it? She going to call you and say, did you find your mama? Anyway,
or she'll be quick to ask me for my cousin's location.
Yeah.
She'll be like, "Where is Sabrina? And what is she doing?" Yeah. And I'm like, "I'm not the tracker of her.
Well,
she's not the
anyway,
tracker of me."
I don't believe in nobody knowing where you are, and I definitely don't believe in not communicating to somebody when we were together. I'm leaving this space because somebody needs to know that. I watch too much Law and Order and Without a Trace and all them other shows where people go missing and everybody thought they were somewhere else. No, ma'am, no.
But
sir.
I'm also the type of friend.
I'm gonna at least text somebody and be like, "Hey." When I leave this podcast, if we don't go do something else immediately after this podcast, I'm calling my mama saying, hey, I'm on my way back to Lakeland. I should be there by blah, blah, blah. Because I'm not going to ever be missing. No, ma'am.
I'm the type of friend that I will say, text me when you get home. And if I don't have a text, I'm looking at the location because where are you? Absolutely. And then sometimes it'll be like, oh, they immediately went home, hopped in the shower, immediately went home, started talking to somebody or whatever.
You know, we guilty of my mama say when y'all get home.
And then we'll do everything in the world.
And I don't care if it's 3:00 in the morning. She may have dozed off, but my mama gonna wake up and call and say, "Did y'all make it home?"
You are notorious for if it gets too late by your standards and I'm not home.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you need to be coming home.
Excuse me, but you need to be on your way home or something, or at least saying, "Okay, I know it's late, but I'm staying longer because," or like it's gonna be late when I get home. But we're not gonna be out of contact for hours and hours. Now, once you get grown, it might be a little bit different. But
I am grown.
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that. Once you get grown,
how much growner do I need to be?
Married with children. But anyway, once you are that, where your spouse should know where the heck you are, it'll be a little bit different. But as long as
I will never forget single, how you for some reason thought I was out at 2:00 in the morning and I was laying peacefully. No, this story has to be told.
Y'all, I was delirious when I woke up.
Let me tell my story. Let me talk my tea.
You tell your side and I'll tell my side.
I was at my boyfriend's house for from morning till night, whatever. Yeah. So I had come home at 11:00. I had been home. So all of a sudden, well, I'm asleep while all of this is going on, but according to you, you wake up, you hear helicopters.
I heard the police.
You automatically assume, oh no, something's wrong.
I was groggy and I woke up to what sounded like a police
You tried
search.
Calling me. Mm-hmm. I don't answer the phone. Why?
No, I think I texted you first.
Okay, you texted me, whatever.
I think I texted you
I don't
first.
respond. Why? I'm asleep. Then
I didn't know that.
You tried calling me.
And you didn't answer the phone. And that was the thing. Because she told me, y'all, that if I call her twice, even if it's on Do Not Disturb, it'll go through.
Is that my phone is on silent 24/7. I'm asleep.
It was your fault. Because you told me if I call twice, it'll go through.
It'll go through. But if I'm not awake, I'm not going to see it. Like, that's
I don't know you had to see it. I thought it would ring so you would hear it.
No, my phone is always on silent. I don't play those games. Problem, I don't like getting notifications. I don't like hearing the ring.
I thought she was going to hear her phone.
Anyway, so she calls, I don't answer. Why? Because I'm asleep. I didn't know that. So instead of her, we live in the same house. Instead of her walking across the house, opening my door that was not locked, why? Because I was asleep. She automatically panics, starts calling me. I don't answer the phone.
Why wasn't it ringing?
So I see all these calls. So I wake up to all of these phone calls. And I'm just like, what happened? Who died? Oh my God. So then I look at my text and she's like, I woke up and I thought you weren't home. Ignore all of the calls. So then I see, I think you texted me and said you texted my boyfriend. Mm-hmm. So then I'm like, oh my God, she made me look crazy. And he's going to be wondering, well, where were you at 2 o'clock in the morning?
I know that's right.
So then I text him and I'm like, did you see it? He was like, yeah, I saw. She told me to ignore it.
After I realized you were home, I immediately texted him and said, ignore that.
She called him. You called him multiple times.
I called him, and he didn't answer.
And
so y'all know I was
his
panicking.
ringer, I think, is on, but like when he's asleep, he's asleep.
And I didn't know that about him. I'm not like, I don't know.
No, why would you know that about my boyfriend?
That?
But when he's asleep, he's asleep. Nothing. I could literally shake him. He's not gonna wake up. So he obviously he sleeps through all of it. So I wake him up. I'm like, I'm sorry.
It didn't wake him up.
My mama's not crazy. She's just a little paranoid.
I woke up to the helicopter circling the house, y'all. And so I text her, no response. I text her again, no response. And it's like, okay, I need to call her, no response. I'm still not panicked because I know she puts the phone on Do Not Disturb. But she told me a long time ago, she knows my phone is on call twice, then it will go through. I didn't know she meant go through where she would see it. I thought she meant it would ring. So when I'm calling her and her phone isn't ringing, because she's not that hard of a sleeper, I'm calling her and she's not responding to what I thought would have been her phone ringing, then I'm panicking. So then I call again.
Honestly, and I call again. If my phone rings, I still might not wake up.
This is the only place where I was wrong. Because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm delirious.
And let's also keep in mind,
I should have gone to look to see if she was home, but at that time, you had been routinely not coming home that early. I wasn't expecting you to be home at 11.
I don't come home at 3 o'clock in the morning.
You've come home between 1 and 2. Like, it's been later than that. And it was, to me, it was so early. I really wasn't expecting her to be home that early. So I'm assuming she's still out. I should have gone and just looked to see if she was there.
And let's also keep in mind,
I even thought that I would have heard your phone ring. Like, I thought when I'm calling you, if you were in the house, I would have heard the phone ring.
Why would you heard my phone ring across the house with the door closed?
Even in the house, because I'm not like I can hear really well. When your phone rings, I can hear if it actually rings. So I didn't hear the phone ring in the house. But before I, got in my car and started searching, I was like, wait a minute. Like, the other thing too is normally when she comes from work, I can see her work. Like, I can see evidence of her being in the house. There was no cup on the counter. Like, there was nothing. So I'm like, she hasn't been here.
My keys were on the table.
Didn't
my
look
purse
at the keys.
was on the table. My work bag was on the table.
I looked for the cup that you usually bring.
She literally could have walked outside, see my car parked in the driveway.
Girl, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I was delirious. All I knew was I didn't know where my child was, and I heard the helicopters.
My first thought would have just been look in the room. Like,
that was mine. That was my maybe fifth or sixth thought. But anyway, nobody was harmed in this story.
I was a little embarrassed, but that's
nobody.
That's all.
Well, at least he knows that I will look for you. So
he knows that you're a little crazy, so he didn't even think anything of it.
He knows.
He was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, he knows.
He was like, she didn't wake me up, so I don't really care.
Yeah, he knows.
Anywho,
that was a long story. Trying to make me look crazy. I ain't crazy. Concerned, but not crazy.
Okay. But speaking of you know, calling my boyfriend multiple times, you thought I was dead. Did I ever once call anybody that you were involved with?
You didn't know how to call
Yes,
them.
I did.
Well, yeah, maybe you
Yes,
did.
I did.
I think you may have called them once. I think you did.
really doubt
I can't
that.
remember. It don't matter. He gone. Anyway, moving on.
I called your ex-husband.
Well, yeah, that he's related to you. But yeah, I think you did call dude once or twice. But anyway, he gone.
Yeah, it would have had been extreme circumstances,
Yeah,
but you know, we don't speak of the dead.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm talking about.
So for Ask a Gemini, on the topic of like relationships or whatever, I keep seeing it on social media, this like argument, and I've had this argument with my friends before, and the question is, do you have to ask someone to be your girlfriend? Which might, to me, that sounds like a crazy question, right? To people with common sense, that sounds like a crazy question. But I have heard multiple times, specifically from guys, that you don't have to ask. It just happens.
I don't know how.
That's what I said.
I don't know how. Now it's fair to say you can assume that if y'all start dating and it becomes a situation where you're going on multiple dates, and then it becomes a situation where it's obvious to both of you that you're only dating each other consistently, that you would assume that that's the next step. But it is not official until a conversation is had, whether it be specifically the words, will you be my girlfriend, or let's become exclusive, or like, let's, get into a monogamous relationship. Like, something has to be said and communicated.
I don't think some of the girlies, they be wanting the hotel room bod and the flowers.
It ain't got to be all of that.
It doesn't have to be all of that. Let's be real.
But somebody needs to say, if it's nothing else, maybe hit a little hood. I don't want you talking to nobody else. Like,
even that, that's not enough.
It needs to be some type of communication where I feel like he wants to exclusively date you.
And not to tell my business, because I'm not from telling my business, but at a certain point, it was obvious that me and my boyfriend were dating. We were obviously a couple.
Not just dating exclusively.
Dating exclusively. Like in a couple months, we were spending the holidays together or whatever. So like, obviously we were dating, but he still needed to ask me specifically, okay, will you be my girlfriend?
Yeah.
Like, you have to communicate those things. I remember one time our previous guest, yes, I'm calling him out. Sorry.
Ooh, don't say anything bad.
I'm gonna say what he said. I'm not gonna say anything bad. I was having an argument with my friend KJ, who, go watch the episode he was on.
Yeah.
Scroll up a little bit. And he was saying how he has never, or I don't know if he said he never asked a girl to be his girlfriend, but he was saying how you don't have to, and it just like once you spend enough time with them, you just together. And I was like, what?
Nah.
No, that's not
because
how
by
that
definition,
works.
then there's a lot of people with multiple girlfriends.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
right
just
now.
like, because at a certain, that's you just friends. You can't just be like, oh, we've just spent so much time together now that you're my girlfriend.
Yeah, because that's how you get your feelings hurt. Because if that's the way it works, then a lot of girls are going to assume that somebody's their boyfriend, and then when they realize he dated somebody else or he's seeing other people, then they're going to be real mad.
And I feel like that's an instance of men wanting to have plausible deniability.
Yeah, because if you never ask, if you decide you want to see somebody else, and they say, "Oh, I thought we," then all they got to say is, "I never said that."
I feel like it makes women look crazy to like, okay, you pull up with them to their family function, and then everyone's just like, "Oh, is this your girl?"
And then if she's saying yes, and then he says no or something,
or even if maybe not even family, if you're with your friends or whatever. And they're just like, oh, like, y'all are dating, y'all are a couple, and now you got to look at him to see are we a couple?
You got to communicate that, because otherwise,
I don't operate in the spirit of confusion. It's of the devil.
Yeah.
I don't think that you should just be assumed. Like, there's certain things, specifically when you're talking about a romantic relationship, that you cannot just assume. I feel like asking someone to be your girlfriend is the beginning of respecting the idea of consent.
Yeah.
Because if you're just going with the flow, then like, are you going with the flow when it comes to like sexual things? Now you might be considered a rapist because you just went with the flow.
Yeah, sometimes men are crazy. Women are crazy too. So it's not just men, but men are crazy. I can remember talking to a dude and I specifically, because the way he was talking, he was talking like something was going somewhere. And so I asked him, I was like, what exactly is it that you're wanting? Like, what are you looking for? And his response to me was, oh, we just vibing. Like, we've been talking this long time. And I'm like, okay, so we're homies. And he's like, no.
See?
No. I said, because if we just talking and we just vibing, then we're homies. So don't think that.
Yeah.
Let me also say this. If you start DMing me and I respond, because, you know, sometimes I'm bored. Sometimes I might actually be somewhat interested. If you start DMing me and I'm responding to you and we're going back and forth or whatever and stuff, that's all that is. And if you do that over an extended period of time and make no effort to either see me in person or to say, hey, I would like to date you or whatever, we homies after a couple of days. Because there's no way in the world that you're going to have my attention for any amount of time if you're really interested in me and don't try to take the next step. You will be my homie.
One thing that I learned at an early age, you know, now I'm an elder.
A ripe old 22.
A ripe old 22.
Yeah.
Oof. But one thing I learned at an early age is guys like to not give a title to whatever the situation may be, but they cannot stand if you call them your friend.
Mm-hmm.
They will literally, they will raise hell.
If they're interested in you.
But see, I don't feel like they really be interested if they. I'm saying you're not being.
Yeah,
but I should say if they're attracted to you.
Yeah, if they're attracted to you. That's what I mean. Not necessarily
when they're
attracted
to
different.
you and they like, because I like there have been times where people like ask me out, took me out on a date or whatever, and then I'm just like, so, what? And it was always, oh, we're just friends, we're just vibing. Then we friends.
Here's the thing, ladies, young ladies especially, but all ladies. If a man has your attention, you're talking fairly consistently, if you've gone on dates or whether you've ever gone on a date, if they get your attention and you've expressed to them that they got your attention, like you're taking the time to talk to them and they don't take the next step, have some self-respect to put them in friend zone and make them your homie, because
make it very clear.
There's no way in the world, if you're seriously interested in me, you should risk somebody else sliding in and getting my attention. And I've said that before. You will not waste my time if you don't say, hey, I want to date you and see where this goes. At least I want to date you. Like, tell me what you have in mind.
This is why
we're homies, and I'll keep talking to you. You can text good morning every morning, and some have done it. You can text good morning every morning. You can text good night. You can pop up in the middle of the day saying, how's your day going? All that's cute and all. But if you don't make a move soon, you are now my friend, and I'm not mad at you, because I really do want more male friends, more platonic male friends, just to have a male ear and somebody to bounce, things off of. But you gonna get homie or friend zone because you're not gonna waste my time.
This is why my man is my man, because he made it clear from the beginning that while we might not be a couple yet,
that's where you were headed.
That's where we're headed.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's the important thing, is that when a dude's not playing games and not being dumb and not wasting an opportunity of a lifetime, as the meme says.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because they're being vocal about, while it may be too soon to officially be together, we gonna be together.
See, what the deal is with a lot of them is they're trying to monkey branch or monkey bar.
They got too many things going on at one time.
They are trying to see if they got a shot with you, or even trying to see if they want to be with you while they're still holding on to somebody else. They won't make a move until they're trying to play both sides or play both ends against the middle. So never let a man play with you like that. Never let a man try to hold on to whoever he's already with while he's trying to get with you. First of all, if I know you're already with somebody and you're talking to me, you automatically eliminate it. But they won't tell you that's what it is. They'll slide into your DMs or, whatever, try to get in touch with you.
They'll give you just enough info.
They'll give you just enough, because a lot of them, because they're dirty, are trying to decide, do I want to break up with this person to move on to this person? Don't let them do that. Don't let them play you like that, ladies. Do not let them play you like that.
And sometimes, the internet might not like this, but I will. Sometimes pretty privilege works to your disadvantage, because a lot of guys will like the way that you look, and they'll see you from a distance and they'll be like, I wonder if I can get her attention. And I wonder if she'll give me the time of day. And once they have the time of day, they realize, oh, we really don't have a lot in common, or I really don't like this person, or there's somebody else I like better. But I want to see if I can get her, just because she seems a little bit maybe out of my league, or she seems a little bit of a challenge, or she's notorious,
or different from the other women that I've been involved
I was notorious for not talking to guys when I was in college. No, everybody knew I don't waste my time. I don't play those games. And I feel like it almost kind of became a challenge for some people to whether I would be dumb enough to waste my time talking to them.
Some of them, they'll shoot their shot because they think you're out of their league, or they had a crush on you, whatever, they'll shoot their shot.
They don't expect it to go in.
They don't expect it to go in. When it does go in, and this is, they talk about this on the internet a lot of times, they'll get to know you and realize, I'm not going to be able to do this. Like, I'm not going to be able to be the person that I would need to be with her. And so rather than being man enough or decent enough to say, hey, like, I'm not going to be able to be consistently a good person like I'm pretending to be.
Consistently a good person. Like,
they just can't handle it. Then they'll do something shady or try to make it seem like there's something wrong with you.
Or they're just not ready for, like, I feel like a lot of, and this isn't just a man thing, I feel like a lot of young people specifically, and sometimes older people too, but I feel like a lot of young people are just not ready for relationships, but they try to hold on to somebody because they want them, they like them, they might want to date them in the future when they are ready for a relationship, but they're just not ready for one. So they, try to time out the clock, or what is it in basketball?
Run the clock, run out the time on the clock. Run out the shot clock.
Yeah,
anyway,
y'all understand.
You know what I'm talking about.
But they just try to keep you from talking to somebody else while they talk to the whole world because they're just not ready for commitment. Yeah. So you, in order to actually have a healthy relationship, I feel like both people have to be ready.
You got to communicate it. So, in conclusion, you cannot have a boyfriend or girlfriend unless that has been made abundantly clear.
And don't be being Delulu. Delulu is not the Salulu. You cannot pretend that somebody is your man or somebody is your girl that has because you're finna get your heart broken and shattered into a million pieces, and now you depressed.
Yeah. And also know, guys, if you're talking to a woman with some sense, if you start a conversation and she gives you her attention and you stretch that whole playing games out too long, you lost your opportunity.
And guys that don't play games will be like, oh, I can't waste time on this. I have to.
For anybody that finds me interesting and wants to holler at me, be direct. Let me know what's up. Like, say what you saying. In the words of the great Keke Palmer, say what you saying.
Don't be scared of a little challenge. Anywho's, time for Gemini Gems. Would you like to begin?
I will. So again, this is the time of the year where people are doing a lot of travel. It's kind of probably starting to wind down, but people travel all the time. So when you travel a lot of times, especially if you're going on an extended trip, you may take jewelry and things like that with you so that you can have to change with different outfits or whatever. Necklaces specifically are a challenge because they tend to get tangled. It's hard to transport them. A solution that I saw, and it may not work for every necklace depending on how the clasp are made or whatever and stuff, but a solution that I saw that may work is take the necklace, open the clasp, thread the thinnest part of the thinnest side of the connecting clasp through a straw, and then reconnect it so that the straw is keeping the chain from getting all wrapped up and tangled up. And that way, you can keep the straw as long as or as short as you would like to make it. Like, you can cut it if you need to, but thread the necklace through a straw, and that'll keep the chain from getting tangled and wrapped all around itself and other necklaces that you're transporting.
And if you are packing for your lavish vacations or whatever, if you are a shoe person, and I feel like this mainly works for like sneakers or like loafer type shoes or whatever, probably not heels, but put a shower cap over the bottom of your shoes if you're like, having to put them in the suitcase or whatever.
With your clothes and
because then it'll keep it from getting dirty, and it'll keep the shoes from getting dirty. Like if you have light colored shoes, it'll keep them from getting dirty and like, rubbing up against everything. Or if you don't have a shower cap, you can also get like a grocery bag.
Yeah, just sometimes I'll grocery do that bag. Put them in a bag if they're in the suitcase with your outfits.
Unless you're bougie and you want to pay for extra luggage just to have a shoe carry-on.
Well, we usually have a shoe bag.
We have a shoe bag, but the shoe bag isn't just shoes. It's usually shoe bag plus like toiletries or something.
Yeah. So, bottom line is those shoes, think about it, y'all. Those shoes go on the plane or in the car. They go into all kinds of public restrooms. Like, just think about all the places your shoe, even if you feel like, well, I haven't gone anywhere dirty. If you go into the restroom, especially a public restroom, your shoes went in there. So, I would suggest.
And also, if you're traveling by plane, wear your bulkiest shoes.
So that way they're not taking up space in the luggage.
So plan your day one outfit and last day outfit, so that way you have the bulky shoes. Because like if you have sneakers or you have Nikes or something, they can be a little big. In a bag,
But also make sure the shoes are easy to take off and put back on, because you're gonna have to take them off if you're going through the TSA.
And wear socks.
Because you don't want your naked feet on the TSA floor. Yeah. Because think about all those feet that have gone through the little scanner thing, like you standing on.
Just nasty.
That's the complete opposite of standing on business. You standing on dirt.
But anyway, with that being said, that wraps up this episode of Simply Necessary Conversations. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Period.